Hello, my absolutely beautiful Taurus friends, and welcome to your horoscope for July of 2023, where Taurus, this month we have got your ruling planet Venus stepping into its retrograde, bringing back themes from 2015 in our life, but also will really be focusing in on the things that came into your life, to your consciousness around June 19th when Venus entered into that pre-retrograde shadow time. And remember, we are going to work on this all the way from June until October. So when you start seeing all of the posts come up about how Venus is out of retrograde in September, remember, we are not done, friends, until October 7th to give it the full cycle. Now, we've also got Chiron stepping into its retrograde, and we are going to welcome in Leo season this month. So the Leo areas of your chart are getting a little bit of light and a little bit of life. Let's jump in here, Taurus, and see what's going on this month. So right at the beginning of the month, on the 3rd, we've got a beautiful full moon happening in the energy of Capricorn. Now, this is a fellow Earth energy, so typically pretty compatible in terms of how you're processing the information that's being represented to you. The full moon is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment, especially in the Capricorn energies. Where do we need to mature, take on responsibility, look at our obligations? Now, this particular moon is also going to be in opposition to Mercury, who's in Cancer at the time, and trining Jupiter. There's a conversation happening here with Saturn as well. So this really is a moon that I think encourages us to look at where we have our priorities, where we have our responsibilities and our obligations, and asking us to see if they are in alignment with where we need to be putting our energy. So if you've just been kind of going along and not really picking up the reins, especially emotionally, or you've been feeling too heavy and there's something you need to be delegating instead of carrying all by yourself, this is a moon that I think will definitely give you a very earthy, like put your hands on it, touch it, it's practical, it's grounded kind of solution to help you out, okay? When we get to the 10th, we see Mars entering into the energy of Virgo. Now, this will be in place all the way until August 27th. And remember, Mars is about action, what we're doing. It's also the desire planet. So what you desire to have in your life, what are your goals, your standards, your what do you want in your life that you have a passion for, but maybe it takes a lot of technique to have it in your life. You really need to refine, define, grow into a skill or a technique. You know what else is in your life right now, Taurus, that has a lot of details going on? Because Mars moving into the energy of Virgo here is going to light up the 5th house space for you. So this is fun. This is something that maybe, Taurus, you're taking a risk on, or something is happening for your children. You're at the beginning of something, right? So this is a wonderful time for you during this cycle to be looking at what are the details of something. Or, Mars is really great at just being Mars and bringing a little bit of conflict to the surface. And sometimes we have to have the conflict in order to get to the other side. So is there something between your children and it needs to just be talked about, right? Something needs to be aired out a little bit. That said too, we don't always have to have a fight, right? But there could be some tension. There could be some, this is just frustrating between you and something that you're trying to begin, you and a coworker, you and, your child, you and yourself, where you're trying to convince yourself to get a new routine. Maybe you're needing to see someone in healthcare and it's not your favorite thing. So whatever it is, try to put an element of fun in there. I think a little bit about Mars is like very Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar, if you can have that, helps the medicine go down, okay? All right, when we get to the 11th, we see Mercury entering into the energy of Leo until July 28th. As Mercury is traveling in the Leo energy, this is the mind. So now we've got bigger thinking, more grandiose thinking, more optimistic thinking that is happening. And for you, this lights up the 4th house space, home, family, real estate, property, things with your parents, your roots. One of the big things I was thinking for you, Taurus, is this would be a great energy if you needed to sign a new lease, whether it be on a home or on a business property or anything having to do with contracts. This could actually be really, really good here because you get a sense of mental boldness or mental bravery. Plus we've got Mars over here in your take a risk zone. So this is kind of a wonderful energy for you to go for it. You know, you've got Mars taking care of those devil that's in the details, and then you've got this mind that's willing to say yes and focus on something, focus on the greater good, the bigger goal to move you forward. Now, the other thing I think about with Mercury here is that this is fun. This, like, I just have a sense of laughter, you being surrounded by happy laughter around you. And maybe you're laughing in your storytelling with someone from your home or something like that. It's really a very focused on fun kind of energy. Now, I will say too, this is not, you may find yourself, this is Mercury and fire, okay? So you may find yourself being a little bit more pushy too with your own ideas. You're like, no, this is my idea. No, I don't need your say. No, thank you for sharing that perspective with me, but here's what I'm doing. You know, you may find yourself, Taurus, being a little bit more like that. So remember, you know, take the lead, be a leader in your own life, but don't miss out on hearing some really good feedback just because you're being stubborn and fixed with this energy. But also stand your ground where you need to, okay? So it's just a whole bunch of things. As we get to the 17th, we've got a new moon happening at 24 degrees of Cancer. Now, this new moon is about planting your seeds of intention, right? Plant your seeds of intention to begin something new. And it doesn't have to be a brand new project. It doesn't have to be anything like that. You can just start anew with something. And that's an absolutely brilliant opportunity because it allows us to, at this stage in the month, in this 28-day cycle, review where we've been concentrating our efforts. It's an awesome opportunity to say, okay, here's where I've been focusing on. And for you, this is landing in the 3rd house. So contracts, communications, things with siblings, decisions that you need to make, writing, teaching, speaking, learning something new for the first time, making plans. Okay, so this is the house that you're looking at. Where do I need to refocus my concentration and energy? And where am I willing to have support, have help, have backing? Where do I need to allow some support in my life because I maybe don't know exactly how to meet all of these obstacles or handle all of these challenges? It's really an energy too where it doesn't sound common, right? Because here we are in this month where it's stand up for yourself, go your own way, but we practice receptivity. We practice some dependence in this particular new moon. And where are you willing to do that? This moon is in a lovely conversation with Neptune, but it's also opposing Pluto. So I will ask you to consider, where are you afraid to trust? Where are you afraid to be dependent? Where are you afraid to ask for help and then allow the support? Look at that. That's a really great place for you to, in your own chart, say, okay, I need to put my energy into making some changes in my life that are probably pretty important, and I'm going to have some help to do it. All right, on the 22nd, it's a busy day. First and foremost, we've got Venus turning retrograde in that energy of Leo, and then later in the day, we'll have the Sun moving into Leo as well. So let's talk first about this Venus retrograde cycle. So first of all, you will hear, I'm telling you, you're going to hear it, that the Venus retrograde cycle is from July 22nd to September 3rd. Okay, you know I don't do that. So we are moving all the way from June 19th to October 7th, and we're watching the degrees in the chart of 28 degrees of Leo all the way to 12. So I mean it. Grab your chart, whether you get a free one, you come get one from me. And there's a video. I have a video to show you how to find these degrees in your chart, because you want to watch your own chart very specifically to see where this 12 to 28 degrees of movement and house and combination is for you, because you want to know exactly what is going on. A Venus retrograde is a personal planet retrograde, which means it's close to us. We feel this. You will likely feel the impact of this particular retrograde, okay? Because it's personal to us. So now we're looking at, though, as Venus retrogrades, what do we value? Who are you today? Okay, because this is where the valuation has to be made. It has to be made from, not from the past. You look to the past, but with the eyes of who you are today. Okay, and we think about this from 2015 until now, you have changed. You have changed, and are you still looking at an old situation through wounded eyes? Are you still looking at an old situation in exactly the same way? It's almost impossible. So at this particular retrograde time, we get to go back over and say, okay, what do I love? How do I love? Who do I love? And what do I value? How do I value myself? Where's my self-worth today? Where's my self-esteem today? And how has that changed these different cycles and periods in my life? Where has it changed who and what I bring into my life, and especially in terms of my personal relationships and my finances and what I believe and understand around money and around how relationships work? It's also a great time to be re-looking at, does your look match who you are today? This is a big thing. I talk about this a lot, but when we're doing marketing and advertising and things like that, having current photos of yourself. And this is a great time. If you haven't in a while taken a picture of yourself and actually looked at it to say, does my look match who I am, what I am, and how I am today? It is a wonderful time during Venus retrograde to get your little look together. Now, on a very practical level too, we want to see that in the general, this is going to light up your 4th house space. Lots of home, family, property, real estate, revisions and action going on for you this month, okay? So you're going back over things in your home zone, right? Maybe you're redoing a budget. Maybe you are going back to a relationship that was really important to you years and years ago, and you just couldn't do it at that time. You're going back to something you loved, something you were passionate about at that time, and you just couldn't do it. And now you can, and now you get to make some major decisions about keeping this thing in your life, about living in this place, about something with your parents. Maybe your perception has been completely changed as you're looking at this influence that is in your life. So what are you going back to around home? Because I can tell you that whatever changes are presenting themselves it's their destiny for their change and for their reevaluation to be on your table and to be at your front door. And of course, you guys, it's Venus retrograde, so truly an ex can come back. So keep me posted in the comment section down below if an ex is coming back into your life, even if it's just in a dream, okay? All right, later in the day on the 22nd, we see the sun entering into the energy of Leo, lighting up again the 4th house area of your chart. Now it's bringing light, heat, life, and vitality. But while the sun is traveling through Leo over the next 4 weeks, it's just such an outgoing, extroverted kind of energy, right? And it's not one of the ones that's like, oh, I'm here and I'm going to just sit on the bench and I'm going to just, it's for all of us. It's a me kind of energy. And this is something that I want to encourage. Having an ego, the sun, doesn't make you bad, especially when we can get the ego in alignment with the universe. Then you can watch have you ever watched a person who is in alignment with exactly who they are, exactly how they were made, doing exactly what they were built to shine and do? It is an absolutely gorgeous, colorful, inspiring thing to see. And this is your once a year opportunity to do that. Be yourself, express yourself, tell the truth about who you and how you are. Are you a person who loves gaudy jewelry and you just haven't been wearing it out? Or are you a person who really, you like something a little bit more dainty? And that is the truth of your expression. It's not you putting a cap on yourself. It's, this is who I am. Whatever it is, be big and be bold with it, because when you step into that Leo nature of yourself, your ego, your sun, and it is connected to this divine vibration, instead of just being nasty and self-centered, it becomes generous and glamorous and beautiful. So I also encourage you to look back into your life this time last year and what was happening for you, Taurus, in the 4th house area of your chart around your home, family, real estate, and property, because you get this same arrangement every year. So how is it different this year from last year? On the 23rd, Chiron is going to take a retrograde in the energy of Aries. Now, Chiron technically stepped into its pre-retrograde shadow time back in March of 2023. And the degrees we're watching here are 15 to 19 degrees, okay? I should really say 19 to 15. But we did see Chiron start to bring some themes to the table on March 19th there at 15 degrees of Aries. So as we're dealing with Chiron, we have to remember that Chiron, yes, is the wounded healer, but Chiron is also the wounder, right? It is the wounded and the wounding at the same time. So there's this dynamic and understanding that there's a space for both the wounding and the wound and the healing of the wounded available here as well. Christopher Renstrom, one of my favorite astrologers who we've definitely had on this channel, does a wonderful talk about it. If you haven't had a chance to hear it and really vibe in with that to understand your Chiron, I would highly suggest it, okay? Now, Chiron in Aries has really been about the wound or the doubt or the misunderstanding of the identity. But Chiron has been doing a lot of work in the Aries vibration. So your new identity that maybe you were afraid of or you didn't know how to own before, maybe it was really challenging to say, I am an astrologer, I am a tarot reader, I am a healer, right? Chiron has been working on that for over a year, and now I think that you're more prepared and have been to stand in it. However, during this retrograde time, what we're going to be doing is really reassessing who you are today on your journey, and are you holding that vibration, and are you stepping very focused, Aries, into the light of owning your presence, owning your body, owning your external expressions of yourself, right? I also think that there is a very mental component that comes with Chiron being in Aries, because you can't kind of have an identity, right? Like you cannot put on the outfit and then show up. It's not one of those, I feel like, with Chiron where you bring the body and the mind will follow. No, I don't believe that that is this particular vibration. It is okay, you brought the body, now also, in addition to, bring the mind and demonstrate who you are. There's this great quote that I love. It says, you do not gain confidence and self-esteem by chanting to yourself. You gain confidence and self-esteem by having a pile of evidence that you can do what you say you can do. And I think that that is such a beautiful expression at this Chiron retrograde, because the wound is different. Your identity is different. And now you get an opportunity to absorb and come fully into alignment with that, and then demonstrate it in a very outward way. And of course, what you're demonstrating is, yeah, I used to do this particular thing, and now I'm to the other side of it. And by demonstrating that, you get to show someone else how to heal, how to live, how to reassess their own journey and their own principles and their own being, and come into alignment. Now we're going to see the full Chiron cycle go from March to April of 2024, but we will hear of Chiron coming out of retrograde December 26th at 15 degrees of Aries, okay? Now, as we're going to close out this month on the 28th, we've got Mercury entering into the energy of Virgo, joining Mars over here in this Virgo energy as well. So we go from being glamorous and fab and just doing it up and thinking it up and bold and brave, right? We go from that fixed energy to something that's a little bit more pragmatic. And it's like, okay, let's have the thinking and the doing of the details really sorted out here. So it becomes a season for you here in that 5th house of Virgo energy, where it's like, okay, all right, no, we need to analyze this, make some decisions, and we have to take this thing step by step by step. But the nice part about it is not only is this a fellow earth energy, but I think that the grounded, down to earth, really practical step by step approach suits you very well, Taurus. You're like, yeah, I can handle these details, and it comes a little bit easier to you. Now, it's also an indicator to me, though, with Mercury coming here, that you might have a lot of information or things that are requiring you to deal with lots of pieces of paper, lots of details, lots of slow down, read the fine print, all of that good stuff. And remember, we're also going to have a longer cycle with Mercury here in Virgo because Mercury is going to go retrograde August 23rd, and so we will see a longer cycle of Mercury here. So just starting to pay a little bit of attention to all the details that are coming into your life that you have to sort out. And remember, again, this is activating that 5th house space, so it could also be, we're getting closer to school time. Do you have children and it's time for all the back to school paperwork, all the pencils, all the things, and it's just really got you doing a lot with little pieces of paper, even if they're digital pieces of paper, okay? All right, my beautiful Taurus friends, like this video. Please like this video, because when you like it, it helps other people find the channel, and we want to share a message of consciousness with those around us because they're seeking, and we want to give them a place to come and join the tribe, right? So also, if you could want to share and subscribe to this channel, I know that there are 70% of you who hang out on this channel actually subscribe. So come on, subscribe, come hang out with me, and definitely share this video with somebody you think it's beneficial to. I love you a ton. Let me know how the month manifests for you in the comment section down below, and I will see you next month. Bye, Taurus.